Accu-Stats Video Productions presents from Cleveland, Ohio, the 1993 Snapple Invitational All-Around Challenge number 2. He seems to have lost the intensity that he had earlier in the match when he was on that long run. He was determined to run 152 and out, and since he didn't do that, he seemed to have lost his intensity a little bit. And that's probably one of the reasons why he may have missed that 6 in the corner. Meantime, Pat Fleming's back at the table with an unexpected opportunity, and I'm certainly sure he'll accept it.
Well, we've seen that in a couple of other matches. In the Mizrak-Zuglin match last night, where Zuglin opened up with a big lead and then had trouble finishing, and also Zuglin-Lesky today, we saw that. So, you know, they get the big lead, and then this, you know, their mind tends to wander, and next thing you know, the opponent's getting back in the game. This definitely is the last chance for Pat. Mizrak sitting at 100 right there, and you know, he hasn't made too many major mistakes. So,
no. And the leader in the tournament, Mike Zuglin, in his match against Rich Oleski, he's starting to assert himself now, and he has widened the gap now to 8-5, and he's at the table looking to even increase his lead even more.
Okay, Pat has a nice 5-ball here on the left side of the rack. And although he's not a left-handed player, he still has a perfect brace shot. He'll just shoot these 3 balls down here behind the rack and leave the 15 as his key ball. He's got his angle for the 8-ball, and he's going to go 2 rails underneath this 15 here, shoot it in the same corner as he'd want the 5 to go, and he'll be straight up, draw back in the middle of the table.
Well, he's got a pretty severe angle on the 5, and I don't believe he wanted this tough of a shot.
Well, he wanted that ball to snap back more, Billy, and just you could see it didn't catch and more or less died there.
Well, you know what happens, I believe, Frank, is you get a lot of slide on the 760. You know, if you're on the Simonis 860, which has more felt to it, it grabs and then you draw back. On the 760, it's much more difficult to control the amount of draw that you put on the cue ball because there's a lot more slide on the 760, making it a lot more difficult to control the speed of the cue ball when you draw the ball. And that's a perfect example of exactly how difficult it was, or it is, to control the draw stroke.
Well, the score here is Mizrak 100, Pat Fleming. Watch the scorekeeper change the score right now. Pat Fleming 20. On the other table, J.R. Gay is pulling away from Grady. He's now winning 76-33 and shooting.
Mike Zuglin has 10 games now to Rich Lesky's 5, so looks like Mike Zuglin has won the last 5 out of 6 games.
Here comes one of those break shots we talked about earlier about Pat Fleming not hitting his break shots tentative. We'll see. The proof of the pudding is definitely in the eating right there.
Steve will never be able to figure out why Pat uses that type of a technique, shooting break shots, and
they're all over the place. He has half the balls past the side pocket there. But for him, it works. So other players, can't make that ball that hard. But I'm sure Pat's run a lot of 100 balls doing that.
That's exactly right. That's his style, and that's what got him here, and that's how he's going to win. He's going to use what got him to this position. Not in this particular match, but Pat is definitely a top player, and then his style has made him that type of a player. So he's not going to abandon that, that's for sure.
Pat's also, Billy, I think you'd agree, one of the finest jump shooters in the game today.
He definitely is. Mike Zuglin just defeated Rich Lesky 11 games to 5, and now his mark in the tournament now goes to 9 wins and 1 loss, which is an incredibly impressive record.
If someone don't get up there and play that spoiler role, this tournament's over. Mike would be a worthy defending champion. That's why this was such a big match with J.R. Gay and Matthews here, because Gay could assert himself along with Mizrak in the second spot with this win. Pat here, he has a tied up 310 ball down here behind the rail here, Billy, and I don't know if, I don't think he'd want to use a 7 here to break these balls, but he'd have to turn the cue ball loose. I wonder what he has in mind.
Looks like he's going to go into him now, Frank.
If you have an angle, he'll draw right underneath the 14. There it is. Perfect shot.
And he had that insurance ball in the 14. He doesn't need it, but it was there in case he did need it. The 10 ball very conveniently placed itself in front of the corner pocket, so therefore he'll use that ball.
He has a 3 ball here to cushion his cue ball, and
well, it looks like he hit a little hard. Got one turn too much out of the 3 ball. Now the 3 ball is no longer a potential break ball.
Well, he could use the 15. The 15 is kind of high, but other than that, I don't know.
He's looking at the 9,
He could use
and he could use the 14 also, but that's the ball he's shooting, so
right.
therefore we'll have to forget about that ball.
Now, if he wants to use 11, 11, 6, 9, his last 3 balls, he could do that. 9 ball breaker. He's not doing that. He's going to leave the 15. I got to think that 15 is a high ball, but obviously he likes it.
And not only is the ball laying rather high, but now his position on the 9 has to be a lot more accurate
right.
in order to get a better angle off of the high ball. And coming from the 6 to the 9 may make that a lot more difficult. He has to get very accurately placed on the 9 in order to get good shape on the 15. I don't know what he's done. No, he hasn't done that. See, now he has to travel underneath and around the 15 and accept this shot on the 15.
Well, he executed that shot very well. He had to go to 2 rails. And he's left himself longer than he'd like to be, but he does have the perfect angle, and the 15 is out enough to where I don't believe he's risking the jaw.
He is facing a 66 ball deficit, trailing 34 to 100. So he desperately needs to pocket this ball and break open the balls to sustain this run that he's on. It's not the easiest to break shots.
Well, let's see if he has another one of those timid break shots. Well, that time he finessed him. He just tried to go into the top of the top row of balls and come out in the middle table, which he done quite nicely, and he has the 2 ball here.
Well, he was possibly concerned about the cue ball scratching cross-side on that particular break shot, because if you notice, the cue ball was going in that direction. Had he hit it with more speed, the possibility of that ball scratching in the side would have been very, very possible.